What is up, guys? I'm Daddy Gamer Fred, and welcome to the first episode of my Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee discussion review. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything until Brock. Now, this is going to be my first impressions of the game, my first time playing it, and my thoughts on the catching mechanic, as well as the introduction to this world, and my thoughts on how they basically introduce you to the world of Pokemon in the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games. Now, do note that this is basically a failed attempt of a Pokemon Let's Go Let's Play. I basically tried to shoot a Let's Play and it didn't work. My sound was fucked up and it kept on hicking and cutting up at certain parts. So I figured instead of just throwing away the footage and try to redo it, basically, I was gonna just keep the footage, keep playing without the sound, without the face cam, and just keep playing to get my initial thoughts out there, to get my first playthrough done. Now, yes, I did help my wife and a couple of other people with a review for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee before the game's gotten released to the public. So this playthrough is actually my playthrough when I first got the game for myself on release day, when I got my own copy in my own Switch and not the copy that was basically sitting in my wife's Switch as a downloadable code that she got from Nintendo. So jumping in, the first topic I want to talk about is basically the overall look and aesthetic of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I think it's beautiful. Obviously, it looks 10 times better than what we've seen on the 3DS, obviously, because again, it's running on the Switch hardware. This is a HD system. Of course, it's gonna look incredible. Doesn't look Mario Odyssey incredible. It doesn't even look Zelda Breath of the Wild incredible, but this is a baby step towards those type of graphically empowering games, which is kind of weird to say because this game does hiccup at times, and I'm gonna show you scenes that it does hiccup. And it's just like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? We left the 3DS, so this won't happen, and it's still happening. It just shows that the engine they are running this on is maybe those engines from the 3DS, and they're basically reusing it, which makes sense if this is not a 100% built from the ground up game. If this was just, again, quote unquote, Pokemon Stars that was supposed to come alongside Pokemon Sun and Moon, but they transferred it and turned it into this game, it kind of makes sense for that development cycle that this was. But as far as Gen 8, I really do hope they built a brand new engine and basically throw a lot of the ideas that work inside of these games into those games. Another thing that blew my mind and was a great surprise was the fact that this game is kind of telling the same story of Pokemon Yellow, but obviously with tons of different stuff that they're doing differently. Obviously with the cutscenes, oh my god, the best cutscenes so far anyway that we've seen in a Pokemon game. Now, I know we got a few good ones in Black and White and, you know, Black and White 2, and hell, even the ones in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Sun and Moon, they were pretty cool as well. But this, again, maybe it's just because of nostalgia talking, as well as the graphic power of the Nintendo Switch, it being more graphically empowered than the 3DS. It's taking it a long way and it's making me feel like this is the best that we ever seen. But yeah, these graphics are just mind-blowingly better from the visual styles that we got in the 3DS games. Now, the controls, surprisingly, once I first got my hands on this game, it was one of the defining factors to me that I was just like, this is fine. This is 100% fine. It was one of those things that I thought I was 100% not gonna like. Like, it spells everything that you don't wanna like. You can't use it really good in handheld mode. You can't play with a pro controller, have to use motion controls. On paper, it sounds terrible, but when you actually have the game in your hand and play it in handheld mode, when you actually have a Joy-Con in your hand and you're playing with one Joy-Con, which to me sounded incredibly stupid, versus playing with a pro controller, or even having the Pokeball Go plus ball mechanic thing, to me, it works. It works and works wonderfully. I could be playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee with one Joy-Con in my hand, with the other hand freely able to just do whatever I want. Whether it's, you know, keeping that hand on the PC so I can make adjustments for the Let's Play that I was doing at the time, or was it to keep the other hand on my phone so I could scroll Twitter, send tweets and screenshots, or even jump on the phone with my wife and ask her about certain elements that she wanted me to record specifically for her review. Again, stuff like that. It fit the play style that I play games normally, and again, it just blew me away on how much attention to detail that it took for them to kind of focus on this one Joy-Con style game to play, because again, Pokemon has always been a game that you could kind of squeeze into 4 buttons. Let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that they were able to do it with the Pokeball Plus, kind of squeeze it into 3 buttons, and it feels incredibly responsive. You feels like you could do everything. Now granted, the menu options do feel kind of weird to navigate through with the Pokeball. The one Joy-Con does make that better, and hell, handheld mode does make that even better than that. But by all means, this game controls 100% fine. I am in love with the controls, especially surprisingly the catching mechanic. It was a big like, huh, yeah, right to me. But again, it was one of those things that using it and doing it plenty of times, it works. You know, I wish we did have player battles, but certain times you just wanted to brush through areas, especially in like Viridian City Forest. I was happy that I wasn't just getting Caterpie encounter, Caterpie encounter, Caterpie encounter. That to the point that, I was like, oh, Caterpie. Oh, is that a Weedle? I'm gonna get Weedle. Oh, is that Beedrill? I'm gonna get Beedrill. Oh, is that a Butterfree? I'm gonna get Butterfree. It was so much better than just having that random encounter, because yes, I still caught a ton of Pokemon, still battled a ton of people in trainer battles, which feel just like they're ripped out of Pokemon Yellow, to be honest. But again, it just feels so fresh and so new to be able to see the Pokemon out in the world and to be able just to catch what you choose rather than being forced to wait through the battle animation, well, the startup animation, and then choosing run to get out of the battle to continue your progress. It's so much easier to kind of just dodge a Pidgey or dodge a Rattata and then head through to the next area that you want to. And if you do want to grind up and catch Pokemon, that option is there too, which again, it feels so good that you just have options to pick and choose who you want to battle and see them out in the overworld. I cannot, it's gonna hurt me to say this, but I want this mechanic brought over to the Gen 8 games. I want to see the Pokemon in the overworld, and I would want them to keep, if we're gonna see the Pokemon in the overworld, I would want them to keep that idea of we're not battling the wild Pokemon, we're just catching them, and then we have trainer battles to replace that, because I do think there is enough trainer battles in areas that you do not have wild battles from what I played for so far. And again, it was just one of those things that I was just like mind blown that it was actually a thing. Like I was actually enjoying the game without these trainer battles, and I was like, how can I? Now, again, most of that probably has to do with the nostalgia, and let me know in the comment section below if that's for you too. But to me, it was just so different and so worth it and really incredible. I'm going to end this part of the review discussion here. Now, I went over the graphics and the controls on my initial thoughts on those. Now, the next couple of episodes, I'm gonna jump into more of the story. I'm gonna go over what I have completed already, as far as up to I'll probably do Brock to Misty in one episode as well, covering Mount Moon, just to kind of keep the episodes short. I'm trying to squeeze them down to 10 minutes. It's probably gonna be longer than that, but I'm gonna just try to do 10-minute episodes where I just talk about my experiences while reviewing these sections of the game. If you are familiar with the style of review from, what is is these guys called? The Super Effective Podcast. This is probably in the same vein. Definitely where I got the idea. I'm gonna have a link to their podcast in the description below. They're cool guys that do a Pokemon podcast that you should check out. Kind of had that same idea when my Let's Play with South. I was just like, I still want to discuss the game like I was gonna do a Let's Play in like little chunks and stuff, and talk about my impressions on, you know, specific areas in the game. And I might do one-off videos of like specific areas or something that I've seen in the game that was pretty cool. So be on the lookout for those. I'm gonna number these, so you're gonna see them with huge numbers probably on the thumbnail. Now this is gonna be the first episode of my review discussion series on the channel. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And do you like this style of review, or do you prefer a regular typical style of review? Now I'm not a fan of that. I prefer just basically having a discussion with you guys. I'm not a huge fan of giving scores until I'm completely done with something and explain my whole experience with something. Now I get that problem a lot. People say I write too much and stuff like that, and I do. I have that issue with my writing, and I end up writing extensively. And I do want to do that extensive review after I complete the game 100%. It might take up to next year to actually do that, because we do have a lot of stuff to go over as far as everything from collecting gym battles, collecting Pokemon, to master trainers. So I do have a lot of game in front of me, but I do want to take you guys on that adventure. So let me know in the comment section below, do you like this style and do you want me to continue it? Peace. I'm gonna see you guys on the next Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee review discussion video. Like always, guys, I'm Daddy Gamer Fred on Instagram and Twitter, and you guys can bring the conversation there. I'm the American gamer in Switzerland right here on YouTube, and yes, I'm gonna be doing a ton of videos just like this one. So if you enjoy, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button. It does help me out a ton as far as growing the channel is concerned. Ring the bell if you want to be notified on the next time I drop a video. Peace. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.